Hello everyone, my name is Rebecca. Let's talk about makeup. So today I am bringing you my September update for the 50 Shades of Brown Project Pan. This is a Pantastic ladies collab that was created by Jessica, Amanda, and CeCe. I will link all of these lovely ladies as well as the Pantastic ladies Facebook group in the description box below. So the whole gist of this project is we are rolling in 50 products that are all connected to the color brown in some way. It could be the color of the product, the color of the packaging, the name, the brand name. Be creative. So I, at this point, do not have all 50 products rolled in. I think I'm sitting at 47 products at this point rolled in. Now, we're not going to be talking about every single one of those 47 products. We're pretty much just going to be talking about all of the products that I've gotten some progress on over the last month. That is still a fair number of products. This is actually my most time-consuming project to track, to film, to edit. So let's get started. Okay, so first I want to talk to you about a couple of products that I have completed since my last update. The first product that I have to show you is the most, well, I actually don't have it here to show you. I set aside the empty pan to show you, and now I don't know where it is. The desk in front of me is a little bit of a disaster, so I'm not sure where it is, but I do know I have a little, it was in my empties for last month, and so I will put in a little screen cap of what the pan was looking like. This is my Milani Silky Matte Bronzer in the shade 02 Sunkissed. This, I have realized by now, having finished this whole bronzer, I realized that this is my favorite bronzer of all time. I have always really enjoyed a glowy bronzer, and this is a matte bronzer. But the tone of this bronzer is so beautiful. It is just so perfect for me. It's a very neutral bronzer. It's definitely not a contour. It is definitely a bronzer. However, it is a very neutral tone, and there's just a hint of rosiness in it that I do find very, very flattering on my slightly cool olive skin tone. I really, really enjoy this bronzer. The formula is beautiful. It is so smooth. I can apply it over anything. I can apply it over a BB cream, over a wet foundation. It never bunches up or streaks or stamps or looks funny on the cheeks. It's a lovely formula in pretty much the perfect shade. It works for me in the wintertime. It works for me in the summertime. I do have a lot of other bronzers that need my attention, but I am almost 100% sure that I will repurchase this bronzer because it is just that good. It just hits all the right notes for me. I am also really excited about having finished this bronzer because I do believe this is the first bronzer I've ever completely finished. Now, I have gone through a lot of bronzers in my lifetime. However, generally speaking, what will happen is I will get to the point where I have enough pan. I have hit pan, and the product is starting to get thin enough around those edges where it starts to flake, it starts to shatter a little bit. That's usually the point at which you're going to want to repress the product. But in the past, I've just never bothered with repressing. I will get to that point where it starts to break, and I will just toss it and get another bronzer. This is the first time that I've actually used every last bit of the bronzer, and I can't tell you how good that feels. It feels so good, especially with a bronzer that I have loved so much. I enjoyed this bronzer so much. The fact that I used every last bit of this product, I get it, y'all. I get it. I understand how satisfying that is now, and I'm just so pleased to have finished this bronzer. I am almost certainly going to repurchase this at some point. I'm going to try to focus on some of my other bronzers for a while, but yeah, I am definitely going to repurchase this one. It's too perfect. It's too perfect to not have in my collection. I've been using some of my other products, and they are nice. I do have some other products that are very nice, but I am missing this one just a little bit. The other product that I managed to finish over this last month was my Dear My Dew Tranexamic Acid. This is 5% tranexamic acid, 5% niacinamide, and it's also got bakuchiol in it. I really have enjoyed this serum. I use it to mix my ordinary L-ascorbic acid into to kind of make a little custom vitamin C serum in it. Tranexamic acid pairs really well with vitamin C. It really helps with clarity and hyperpigmentation and evenness of tone. I've really, really enjoyed this. As of the last update, it was weighing in at 42.31 grams. It was right here. I did finally start marking my bottles, and my camera will focus. It's right there. That's the line we were at. I use this, I want to say 6 or 7 times. I'm not 100% sure that my tracking was accurate on this one. I think it was 6 or 7 times before I emptied the bottle entirely. I have not yet repurchased, but do intend to. I've really enjoyed this little cocktail that I have been making for my skincare. I haven't been super consistent with my skincare over this last month, so I'm actually a little surprised I was able to make it through this. But yeah, I will almost certainly be repurchasing this serum. Those are the 2 products that I have completely finished. So let's talk about the products that I have gotten some good progress on over the last month, but I still need to work on them a little bit longer before we can call them empties. First product I have is the Sephora Colorful Shadow and Liner Stick. This I have been using as an eye primer. It is in the shade Cafe au Lait. I know Sephora has repackaged this into like a retractable eyeshadow stick. I don't know if it is a reformulation. This is a matte pencil, which I appreciate, and it has made a really, really good eye base. I have actually not been wearing a ton of eyeshadow over this last month, but I did manage to use this 6 times. As of my last update, it was weighing in at 7.36 grams. It is now weighing in at 7.01 grams after 6 uses. I don't think I'm gonna have any trouble getting this completed by next April. Next, I have my Juvia's Place lip gloss in the shade Brown Sugar. This was from their coffee shop collection. It's got a little bit of pink in it, obviously, but not nearly as much as any of the other brown glosses that I have worn. The way I love to use this is over the top of other lip products that are maybe just a little bit too saturated, maybe a bit too bright. This will knock them back just the right amount. So I tend to use this lip gloss that way in particular. I have used it, let's see, I have used it 8 times over the last month. Last month it was sitting at 32.44 grams, and now it is sitting at 32.21 grams. So we're making some slow incremental progress. I'm still not 100% sure I'm going to be able to get this done by next April, just because I use so little every time I wear this. And unlike my other glosses, it's not something I'm keeping in my bag and just applying over and over again throughout the day. So we'll see how it goes. Next, I have my Vuori Citrus Solid Conditioner. It is just a little shadow of its former self. It actually snapped in the shower this last month while I was using it. So I just have these 2 little fragments, which actually has made it a little bit more difficult to use. I think I might need to get a hold of like a little mesh bag or something to put these in to make it possible for me to use the remainder of these. Because I have noticed that while I actually used it as many times this month as I did last month, I only went through half the amount of products, just because it's a little bit harder to like hold this in my hand. It's a little harder to, I don't know how well the mesh bag situation is going to work, simply because it doesn't lather. This is a conditioner. It's not a shampoo. It's not a soap, but I really do want to get the last bits of this used. It smells so nice. This is not the most hydrating conditioner I have ever used in my life, but for me, that's kind of a plus, especially in the summertime when I am a little bit oily. I have oily combo skin. My scalp tends to be a little bit oily, and I also have very fine hair. So I do find that really rich conditioners can weigh down my hair. This does not do that. So I am going to try really hard to get as much use as I possibly can out of the remainder of these little fragments before I consider them done. Oh my gosh, I just snapped. Well, now we have 3 little pieces. Look at that. I just snapped the corner off of that. Well, yeah, definitely going to have to find a better way to use that in the shower. So I use this to condition my hair. I also use it to shave my legs. It's very nice for that purpose as well. It smells lovely. Over this last month, I have used it 9 times. So the previous month I used it 8 times, but I managed to go through about 20 grams of the product. So at my last update, it was sitting at 9.64 grams, and it is now sitting at 11.90 grams. So not even 10 grams actually there. So less than 10 grams of product has been used, even though I used it more times this last month than I did the month before. Gonna have to focus a little harder on making this one work. I'm not sure. Do any of you have, I don't really have a whole lot of experience with solid conditioners or solid shampoos. What do you guys do when it gets down to these little tiny pieces? I mean, how do you make it a little bit more practical to use in the shower? If you know, please enlighten me. Next, I have my Eliza Vecca Milky Piggy carbonated bubble clay mask. This is a little clay mask that I kind of got as sort of a gag product to use with my little girls. They saw, let's see, Denitslava here on YouTube. She tested out some strange skincare products, and this was one of them. The girls saw it in store, were just thrilled to see that it actually existed, really, really wanted to buy it and try it out with me. So we did. We bought it and we tried it out. Well, we're committed now. Goodness.
Oh, it's destined to be a cloud.
Oh my goodness, you guys.
One. Oh, I look like a sea cow.
I actually initially rolled this into the project for 10 uses, but I ended up liking it so much that, I mean, it does kind of feel a little bit like a gag product. It's hilarious, but I really enjoy this. It gives me all of the benefits of a good clay mask with none of the downsides. A couple of things I don't care for with the clay mask is that feeling like when it dries down and it tightens and it feels like it's just sucking the life out of your face. Don't love that. I also find clay masks in particular to be really difficult to remove. This one is not. It is so pleasant and it is so easy to remove, and I still really do have that I have that feeling of clarity after using this clay mask as I do over any of the other clay masks I've ever used. So it's got all of the benefits of a clay mask, none of the downsides. So I have really, really enjoyed this. And because of that, I think it was last month, possibly the month before, I decided to change my goal from 10 uses to completely finishing the jar. I used it twice. Wait, hold on. No, I used it more than that. I actually used it 3 times over this last month, which is an unusual number of times for me to reach for clay mask. But again, I had just really been enjoying this, and especially during the summertime where, because of the heat and because of my oil production and the amount of sweating and sunscreen and all of that nonsense, I can start to feel a little bit congested, and this has really helped with that. I've really, really enjoyed it. So yeah, I used it 3 times over this last month. I don't have a weight from last month, and I don't know why. Oh, it's because I didn't use it last month. I didn't use it at all last month, but in July, it was weighing in at 106.42 grams, and it is now weighing in at 76.11 grams. So we're making some really decent progress with it. This is about where we're at right now. I think I'm halfway through this jar. And yeah, really enjoying this mask. I don't think I'm going to have any problem getting this whole jar finished by next April. Moving along, we have my favorite gel nail polish. This is by the brand Beetles. It is in the shade B071. This is my favorite kind of brown nude shade. It's just perfect. I love it. I have gone through, I think this is probably the 3rd bottle of this I have gone through, and this was almost completely full. I think I had used it once before rolling it into this project back in April. As of the last update, I had used it 6.5 times, half times because I don't only have the time. I do my own nails. Sometimes I only have the time to do one hand, and then sometimes I just don't get to the other hand. I just don't get to it. So I had used it 6.5 times since April, and then over this last month, I used it an additional 2 times. It came into the project at 59.38 grams, and it is now at 54.27 grams. I think I have probably a couple more. I'm wearing it right now. You can't really tell because I have covered it with all of this other nonsense, but you can see it. It's this color here at the base of my nails. It's just the perfect nude for me. Perfect nude for me. It does appear a little bit deeper on me during the wintertime when obviously my skin is a little bit more pale, but it is perfect winter or summer. I really, really love this shade. I already have a backup waiting for me as soon as I have finished this one. I think I have a couple more full applications of this left. So far, at the last time I put this on, I noticed I was having to kind of do, you know how you kind of do this thing to sort of get the last bits of it. So I was kind of having to do that, but there's still some product in here. I think I'll probably get 1 or 2 more full applications out of this before I can call it an empty. But anyway, really, really love this one. It wears really well. It's one of those polishes that kind of has the top coat included. Basically, it means it's just no wipe. You don't have to wipe off any sticky residue after you've applied this. So when I'm wearing this on its own, I don't bother top coating it, and it lasts me a good 3-4 weeks. So really enjoy this stuff. Okay. Did the camera move? I don't know. The camera might have moved. I apologize. So my friend Lydia is in town, and she just Marco Polo'd me. So I'm going to go see her as soon as I am done filming here. So let's let's get through the rest of this, okay? Okay, so the next product I have to talk to you about is my Holika Honey Broylactin Propolis Ampule. I did not, again, this last month, I don't know why, but I really was pretty lazy with my skincare. I was not nearly as consistent as I usually am. And so I only used this one 6 times, not a ton of uses, but listen, we're getting there. We're getting there. I actually think we're really close. I think this will be an empty next month if I can make myself use it a little bit more. This is where we were last month, and this is where we are now after 6 uses. As of the last update, it was weighing in at 99.62 grams, and after 6 uses, it is now weighing in at 93.16 grams. My Cover Effects Custom Enhancer Drops. Yes, that's what they're called, right? Yes, Cover Effects Custom Enhancer Drops. That's these in the shade Rose Gold. So I rolled these into the project with intent to use it on my body. I thought this would be a good replacement for the Milani, what was it called? The Milani Soft Focus Glow that I had been using on my body prior, that I really actually ended up enjoying. It's not meant for that purpose. It's not marketed as a body illuminator. And to be honest, there's not enough product in the packaging to really make it practical as a body illuminator, that Milani one. But I was using on my body simply because I didn't prefer on my face, but I ended up really enjoying it on my body. I was hoping I would enjoy this as much, but I don't. Here's the funny thing is, if I put this on the back of my hand, you're going to think, oh my gosh, that is the most glorious, that is the most beautiful body illuminator. Just, it's got this, do you see that nice, just smooth sheen? Well, you walk outside into natural light and oh my gosh, this turns into just a field of sparkles. I don't even know how this was intended for the face to begin with. Having spent so much time outdoors over this last summer, you'd think I'd get so much use out of it. But I looked like Edward Cullen every time I walked outside with this stuff on. So it has been a real struggle to get myself to use it. I did, however, manage to use it on 4 separate occasions over this last month. So the last time I weighed this was back in July. The weight was 50.54 grams. And after 4 uses, I'm at 48.78 grams. I'm going to go ahead and continue to try to use this as a body illuminator because I don't know what else I would use it as. I'm certainly not going to use it on my face, but even on my body, it feels like, I don't know. I don't go clubbing. There's no point at which I want straight glitter smeared across my skin. And that's what this feels like in any direct sunlight. So I don't know, people. I'm going to use it. I'm not going to like it though. Just FYI. Next, I have my Gerard Slay All Day makeup setting spray. I thought this was going to be an empty this month, but we still do. I think I have about maybe 2 uses left on this one. So this is definitely going to be an empty for next month. This is where we were in August. I am actually a very liberal setting spray user, so I'm not surprised I've gone through half a bottle over the last month, which probably isn't the most economical thing to do. I did pick this up on sale. I think I got it at a Fred Meyer when I was visiting back home for like $8. It was in the clearance rack. Now, obviously, there's no brown on it. However, this is the coconut scent, and so I decided that was my in. That was my excuse to roll it into the 50 Shades of Brown, because coconuts are brown, right? So I really actually have very much enjoyed this setting spray. My normal day-to-day setting spray is the Sephora Stay All Day. Is that what it's called? The Sephora All Day, I think is what it's called. And that one is a perfectly nice setting spray for day-to-day use. I am not out here working 12-hour shifts. I don't really need something super heavy duty to set my makeup down with on a day-to-day basis. So I'm perfectly satisfied with the Sephora. And when I do need a little bit more staying power, I do have a little mini of the Urban Decay All Nighter that I bust out. This one is somewhere in the middle. It is definitely gives me more staying power than the Sephora does, and is not quite as lock it down as the Urban Decay All Nighter. I have really enjoyed this though. I think the only thing that would prevent me from repurchasing this after it was gone is the fact that I do believe that the regular retail price of the Stay All Day is closer to $20, whereas the Sephora I can get for $13 during the Sephora sale. If I were to see this on sale though, and I feel like it's good enough for me, that the Sephora one, I don't know that I need the extra staying power, although it has been useful over the summer months to have something just a little bit more powerful. Because I found that I was able to get a little bit more longevity out of products that are usually very, very short wearing on me. So I'm talking about very balmy products, kind of like my Pat McGrath Balm Blush, which I love so much, but does disappear pretty quickly on my oily skin during the summer. Other things like my Salt New York Sneaky Balm, I found that this really helped that stay in place better as well. So I don't know, guys, I'm kind of talking myself into it. Should I get another one of these? I really haven't liked it a lot. Although we are, we're getting into fall here. And so I don't feel like I'm going to have as much struggle with the longevity of my makeup as I do during the summertime. I don't know if you can tell by the way the light has changed, but the clouds rolled over again and it is again starting to rain. But if it's like last time, it will last like 5 minutes. So bear with me. I did not tell you how many times I used the Gerard. So this I used 16 times over the last month. As of the last update, it was weighing in at 72.57 grams. And that was when we were back up here, right there. And now it is weighing in at 33.59 grams. So that's quite a lot of use of this product. I really have enjoyed it. I may have just talked myself into repurchasing this one. The next thing I have to show you is my Purito BB cream. Last month I told you about how I decanted both of the tubes. I have 2 shades of this BB cream. I have the 27 Sand Beige and then I have the 23 Natural Beige. I mixed these together and I added them into this little empty cushion compact. And man, I have just really, really been enjoying using this cushion compact over for this particular product. It has taken a BB cream that is already really lightweight and flattering on the skin, very, very skin-like, and has made it almost invisible. I've actually also had to tweak the shade of this a little bit, so I've had to add a couple of things into this compact to get the shade to match me right now. So that has also messed with the weight just a little bit. I used this 14 times over the last month. As of the last update, in the new packaging, it was weighing in at 77.05 grams. There's a fly in this room that is just, I'm gonna hunt you down in just 5 minutes. Give me 5 minutes. Okay, so it was weighing in at 77.05 grams and now it is weighing in at 70.24 grams. So even with the inclusion of a couple of extra things just to tweak the shade, I'm still down 7 grams on this product. So very happy with the use I've gotten on this one. I wouldn't be surprised if this was an empty next month as well. Okay, another thing that I think might be an empty next month is my Physicians Formula Eye Booster Liquid Liner. This is in the shade Brown. It's a very nice chocolatey brown. I really enjoy this for kind of lighter makeup looks where black liner would just look a little bit too, So I have used this 10 times over the last month. It was weighing in at 10.06 grams as of the last update. And after that 10 uses is now weighing in at 10 grams even. Now, the reason why I think that this one might be going soon is because I do feel like with these eye boosters, rather than them drying out as I experience with this is a brush tip too. And I feel like brush tips don't dry out, generally speaking, in the same way felt tips do. This just starts to get, these eye boosters, I've been through several of these in both black and brown. I feel like they start to get a little watery. I feel like they start to get a little watery and translucent to where I'm still getting product, but I'm not getting as much pigmentation. It's also an eyeliner, and technically I probably should be rolling it out pretty soon here anyway, just for hygienic reasons. But yeah, I do think we're getting toward the end of the life of this eye booster. We've gotten a lot of use out of it in this project though, and I'm very happy with that. Okay, a couple of other products that were recent roll-ins for me. I had these in my lip service project pan, and I enjoyed them so much that I decided to roll them into this project. So first I have the Milani Understatement Lip Liner in the shade Shoop. This is how much product we have left. I mean, we are almost done with this one. I've really enjoyed this lip liner. It's not something I'm going to be able to replace. This comes from a little salt and pepper collab that Milani did a few years back. It also has a matching lipstick, which I also have rolled in this project, and we'll talk about that in a minute. I've used this lip liner 8 times over the last month. Last time I filmed an update, I had not been able to find this lip liner to take a weight. So I don't have a weight from that. Back in July, it was weighing in at 4.15 grams. It is now weighing 4.12 grams. And again, obviously that's not a whole lot of weight difference, but we have so little left. This is probably going to be an empty next month. Yeah, I will be very surprised if this is still going when I update you again. While we're here, let's just talk about the Shoop lipstick. So this came in the same duo as that lip liner. It is this beautiful little pinky brown kind of 90s matte lipstick. I'm wearing it today. I have really, really enjoyed this lipstick. Over the last month, I have worn it 7 times. And as of the last update, it was weighing in at 23.79 grams, and it is now at 23.71 grams. Another product I have been working on is the Tarte Breezy Cream Bronzer in the shade Seychelles. It comes in this cute little mint compact that I love. I mean, I love the color. It's kind of got a little bit of a soft touch to it, which is nice, but it gets a little messy on the inside. So this is what the bronzer is looking like now. We have hit pan. We've hit pan on this one, which I'm very pleased about. This is a bronzer I can only wear during the summertime. It is just too warm for me in the wintertime. When I get a little bit of a tan during the summer, my skin tone is a little bit warmer and a little bit more saturated than it is during the wintertime. In the winter, my green undertone really comes out. So anything with even a hint of warmth in it just reads as straight orange on my face, and this is no exception. This reads as pumpkin orange on my face during the wintertime. So I set a usage goal for this of 30 uses because I knew there was just no way I was going to be able to finish it before it became unwearable for me. So over this last month, let's see, how many times have I used it? I've used it 10 times over this last month. As of the last update, it was weighing in at 62.76 grams. It is now weighing in at 61 grams. So we have actually used a fair amount of product, and that leaves me with 6 more uses before I can go ahead and roll this one out, which is just about perfect. Because we're in the middle of September right now. My summer color is not going to hang around a whole lot longer, and pretty soon this is going to become very difficult for me to wear. One of the things that I have not loved about the formula of this, it does blend very easily on the face, but I have found that it is so balmy and it really does not set down a ton. It is so balmy, I have to be very careful with any other products that are going on my cheekbones. Basically, if I'm wearing this, I'm going to want everything else that goes on my cheeks to be a cream product because it just doesn't play well with powders, which is unfortunate because I do have some cream bronzers that do play well with powders. This is just not one of them. Okay, y'all, we are almost there. My next product is my Josie Marin Argan Daily Moisturizer SPF 47. This is a mineral sunblock. This is the tinted version. I really, really do enjoy this SPF. It is more hydrating than what I usually tend to wear during the summertime. But I have been wearing it this last month. I have worn it, 11 times. I have worn this 11 times over the last month. And that is because I ran out of my Biore UV Aqua Rich Watery Essence, which is my absolute holy grail sunscreen. It is my favorite sunscreen to wear during the summertime because it is just a little bit hydrating, but not hydrating enough that it's going to be a problem for me during the summertime when my oil production is at peak, you know. But I ran out of it, and I thought I would just be able to pop over to Amazon and pick up another couple of tubes of it like I always do, but I wasn't able to. They weren't on there. Apparently, I did a little bit of research. Apparently, Biore has created a version for the United States. And now it has become very difficult for us to get the Japanese version of that sunscreen here in the United States. I don't want the US version. I want the Japanese version. They're not the same formula. I want the same formula I've been using for years. And I was really frustrated about that whole situation. I eventually found some of the Japanese formulation on Stylovana. They should arrive sometime over the next couple of weeks, but in the meantime, I have been using this one. It is a little bit more hydrating than I generally would reach for when it is this warm outside, but a girl's got to do what a girl's got to do. It is a very, very nice SPF. It's really, really nice under makeup. It's really nice alone. I really do enjoy this quite a bit. So I've used it 11 times over the last month. As of my last update was when I rolled it in. I think I'd only used it maybe twice before I rolled it in. So when I rolled it in, it was weighing in at 140.23 grams. It is now at 131.16 grams. So that is a fair amount of use. As soon as my other Biore sunscreens show up, I'm probably going to switch back over to those until we're well and truly into winter and I'm really feeling the need for that additional hydration. All right, next we have my Salt New York products that I rolled in last month. I rolled in my Sneaky Balm. After having this, I think it was in my deck of panning, I had this in and I decided that I wanted to go ahead and finish it. So I went ahead and rolled this in to finish. This is in the shade N10. The coverage is very minimal. It adds just a little something for those days that you don't want to go completely barefaced, but you don't want to do a full face of makeup. I really, really enjoy this, especially in the summertime. It is so easy to reach for. It is not the most long-wearing thing on my skin. Although I did find that this Gerard Slay All Day did help it last a little bit longer than it usually does on my skin. I have the shade N10, which is a good summer shade for me, and I have used it. Let's see, I have used it 8 times. I've used it 8 times over the last month. So when I rolled it in, it was at 5.75 grams. I have now gotten it down to 5 grams even. So a good amount of product, and I don't think it's going to be a stretch for me to finish this completely. I also rolled in the Salt New York Sculpt and Bronze Tint in the shade Taupe. This is their little contour. When I rolled it in August, it was weighing in at 6.84 grams. I have used it 5 times over the last month and it is now weighing at 6.32 grams. Okay, so last Salt New York product is the Cream Tint Pro in the shade Beige. This is just a beautiful highlighter. It is one of the prettiest and most natural looking highlighters I have ever had in my life. Now this is, I don't know, I put this alongside the Cover Effects Rose Gold drops. This is the kind of illumination I want on my body. I mean, on any part of me. Like, this is perfect for the face. I wish that I had a big pan of this that I could just put all over my legs. You know what I'm saying? Because that is the perfect kind of highlight for it. Any skin. It's gorgeous. Last time I showed this to you, I told you that I thought that if you looked really close, you could see some shimmer, but I think I must have had some existing product on my skin when I said that, because I don't think you can. I don't think there's any discernible shimmer at all. It's just this beautiful, glossy, sheeny glow. And yeah, I can't see any sparkle at all. It's gorgeous. Gorgeous highlight. I have used it, let's see, I've used it 8 times in the last month. It came into the project at 9.38 grams and it is now at 9.12 grams. This one I do have a usage goal on. It really doesn't require a whole lot of product for each use, and so I do have a 30 use goal on this one. Next, I have my ordinary L-ascorbic acid. This is my vitamin C powder that I mix into my tranexamic acid serum in order to apply this. Again, I haven't been super consistent with my skincare this month, so I have only used this 6 times. As of the last update, it was weighing in at 105.42 grams, and after 6 uses, it is now weighing in at 103.54 grams. So kind of slow progress over this last month. But again, this is a product I really don't think I'm going to have any trouble completing by next April. Now, let me tell you, okay, we've only got 47 products rolled in at this point, and I have to admit I was struggling a little bit to find enough products to roll in that I could associate with the color brown that weren't just all bronzers and brown eyeshadows. So I rolled in this little box of kind of brown topaz-y, champagne-y nail gems that I have had in my collection for a while now and would like to get through. I set because generally speaking, I don't wear a ton of crystals on my nails. It's usually just a couple here or there. This is definitely me going a little bit overboard. This is a lot more than I generally wear on my nails at any given point. but I've been trying to incorporate these into my nail looks. So my goal was to use half of this. I am going by weight. So the weight that we're aiming for with this one is 8.74 grams. As of the last update, it was at 13.48 grams. So I've used it twice. I've used it on 2 separate nail sets since the last update, and it is now weighing at 12.32 grams. So I have about another 4 grams, 3.5, 4 grams to go of these gems before we can call that good. Last product, I have a bottle of lacquer nail polish. This is probably my favorite lacquer nail polish of all time, but unfortunately it is no longer produced. This is the Maybelline Color Show nail polish in the shade 305 Gilded Rose. It is just the prettiest. It's got this beautiful pinky gold, almost duochrome shimmer. I've got a receipt here. I'll swatch it for you. It's just this really pretty. Love this nail polish. I'm so sad that they're not making it anymore. I rolled it in because I realized it was starting to dry up in the bottle. And oh my gosh, oh the shame. Should I allow my favorite lacquer nail polish to dry up in the bottle instead of using the rest of it? So I have used it twice over the last month, and I have had to thin it out both times. So I'm glad that I'm trying to get the last little bits out of it now, because it does not have long. It is going to have to be retired quite soon, but I'm going to get as much out of it as I possibly can. I was digging around in my nail supplies the other day and realized I have another bottle of this that it's not brand new, but it has more in it than this one does. So I think once this is gone, I'm going to go ahead and roll that other one in its place, and I'm going to consider the two of them the same product for the purposes of this project. Because yeah, it wasn't until I started using this and having to thin it out in order to use it that I really realized how little product was in this bottle. And there's no point in letting that one go bad. So that is it. Those are all the products I have made progress on over the last month. I had a couple little empties there I'm very pleased with, and I have several other products here that I really do think are going to be empties next month. So yeah, I don't have any new roll-ins for you this month, simply because to be honest, I have already scraped the bottom of the barrel. At some point, I'm just going to have to start rolling in more bronzers. That's what, in order to get to 50 products, that's what I'm going to have to do. But I have not yet made my decision on what those last 3 products are going to be. So thank you so much for spending this time with me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.